Alright, so my name is Eric Garcia. I'm an attorney. We do several things in my office that we handle. We handle immigration, car accidents, workers' compensation, different areas of the law. And that's what we do. What people need to know about a car accident. A lot of people are a little bit shocked at the scene of an accident, so they're they fumble their words. They're unsure what to do, what to say, who to speak to, who not to speak to. But I think the important thing for them to do is that when they are involved in a car accident is to be careful what they say, because anything that they do say can come and haunt them in the future, whether they're in courts, whether they're dealing with an insurance adjuster, or whether they're dealing with a police report. The most important thing people need to do when they're involved in an accident is obviously get the information from the other driver, get their license, address, phone number, and definitely get the insurance information from the other driver, because it's important. If the police don't respond, that's the only way we'll ever find out what the insurance information for the other driver is. Clearly don't say who was at fault, because you really don't know who was at fault. Not only that, but people are in shock and don't know what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and who was where at what time. So definitely pull over, get the information from the other person. Don't admit your faults. Don't say anything more than you need to say. Just exchange information. Clearly, if people are injured or there's major vehicle damage, you definitely want to call the police. There is a requirement in California that if there's a certain amount of property damage or people are seriously injured in an accident, that you definitely need to report it to DMV, and it would be in your best interest, obviously, to call the police to get a police report done. If you can, before the cars are moved, try to take a picture of the scene so it's easier to see how the cars were at the time of the accident. And if you can, a video, do maybe a 360 around so it's easier to see how it was at that time. A lot of the times people forget how the climate was, whether a light bulb was burned out, how the street lights were working. So a video and picture will definitely help people capture that for the future references. It's always important to try to, if you can, to contact an attorney. Attorneys are trained to do what they need to do in terms of dealing with insurance adjusters, insurance companies. We deal with them all the time. The insurance companies are usually trained to look at the best interest of the insurance company, the bottom line for them at times. And an attorney can ensure that your rights are protected, that everything's done correctly before you settle the case. Because once you settle the case and you cash that check from the insurance company, it's all over then. You can try to reopen a case against the other person, against the insurance company, but it's a little bit more difficult than it would be had you hired an attorney right away. And people shouldn't be surprised that they won't suffer any injury, they won't feel any pain, any major injury to their bodies at the scene of the accident. Usually what's called soft tissue damage is injury to the muscles, to the tendons, and so forth. That usually starts manifesting itself 2, 3, 4 days later. So even though you may think you're not injured, you probably are going to be injured, and you'll feel it down the line. Obviously, if you break a bone, you'll know right away, but muscle injuries, back injuries, you won't know until a couple of days later. Accidents, a lot of attorneys, and we do this in my office, is we work on what's called a contingency retainer, meaning that you don't have to pay on an hourly basis for an attorney. You don't have to pay $5,000, $10,000 up front. Usually attorneys collect a percentage at the end of a car accident case or a personal injury case. Even slip and falls fall into that category. So legal representation is available and is accessible. You definitely want to contact an attorney to definitely get the contact information. The charge, how they work their fees, whether they charge at the end, at the beginning, how their payment system works.